Well, on this fine Wednesday night at about 2 in the morning, I had nothing better to do, so I just started thinking about the Eternals and why that movie really doesn't work, and the reasons for why that story falls in on itself and creates a hollow, wasteful piece of cinema. And I think the crux of that is the fact that it is so unbelievably confused that it doesn't actually know what it wants to say, but it also wants to say everything at the same time. That is an awful way to try and sell a story. It is almost impossible to do so, and they failed at it in spectacular fashion. And that's coming from a filmmaker who is actually very talented. Even she couldn't manage, Chloe Zhao, to turn this into a workable story, because it was almost like it was everything everywhere all at once, and there was no story to tell because they wanted to do everything. But when you look at Thanos as a character, as a comp, Thanos is the protagonist of Avengers Infinity War, but he is clearly the villain, and he's the bad guy. And he wants to destroy half all life in the universe so that the other half of all life in the universe can live prosperously and survive and thrive. Now, he is a genocidal maniac. That's fact. In the movie, that's stated, and it's true. You can understand what he's trying to do, but he's wrong. With the Eternals, it's almost like what they try and do by the end of the movie is worse than what Thanos did in a lot of ways, because by them deciding to not allow a Celestial to be birthed from the Earth, they have stopped the creation of trillions and trillions of lives and the formation of a new galaxy. Now, I guess there are very, very deep metaphysical questions that are involved, spiritual questions as to how you would consider this situation and what you would do in that instance. But, at the same time, while they're saying we need to protect the Earth and we need to protect the people on this planet because they have intrinsic value and their lives are more valuable than other lives, essentially, they also destroy the life of a Celestial. And I think what it comes down to is that the Eternals is inherently, and I don't like to get political because, hey, people lose audiences by being political, but the Eternals is both an anti-abortion movie and also a pro-abortion movie at the same time. And I don't think it realizes it is, because I think it thinks it's a pro-abortion movie without realizing and being aware that it's actually both. Because the way that they structure themselves and the way they put forward the story in terms of being pro-human and being pro the Earth, it's almost like they're pro-life to some degree. But then by deciding to not allow the Celestial to be born from the Earth and create trillions and trillions and trillions and galaxies of life forms is inherently the opposite. And I don't think that circle can be squared, because these things are so inherently opposed to each other. These concepts are the antithesis of each other. And you can't be both. And I don't think, as I said, they realized they were being both. But they kind of were, even though they were more pro one side than the other. And I think that's why the Eternals just doesn't work as a movie, as well as it being very poorly put together, and the story being very see-through, and this CGI being generally poor, and the acting not being very great, and the directing surprisingly coming up a bit short. Other than that, the core basis of the movie just doesn't sit right. And it is what it is. So it's shit. That's about it.